I want to tap on controlling your mind, because you said that, man. That's important, because when you control your mind, it's like you control your reality. Because really, when you feel an emotion like sadness or like you down for whatever, your brain can't interpret if it's real or fake, which is why you feel the emotions of what you're thinking of. Like if you happy, if you think about like a Lambo or whatever makes you happy, you're going to feel that emotion, which is why manifesting is so simple once you understand it, because you understand that energy is emotion. Energy is how you feel, and energy is how you move and operate. So if you control your mind, you can control your manifestations, and you can control how you feel on a more consistent basis. So yeah, tap into your mind, man. That's the key to pretty much life and how to be happy.
It's so crazy too that you talk about that, because we was just talking, Vaughn, about how they're programming us through TV and shit like that. Now, if we all have the ability to manifest, right? And they want to be able to control our reality. A lot of times it's that they don't tell you what to do. They feed you things that tell you how to think. And then when they tell you how to think, you're naturally going to follow a program that most people don't realize, oh, they didn't tell me to do this. It's my own control. Well, that's the best way to catch somebody, is to make them think that it was their choice.
Right.
So
For sure.
A lot of people don't realize, like, yeah, you think that's your decision. It's just because you heard it 17 times on the radio. How many of y'all actually like them songs that you hear on the radio? You don't. You just heard it 17 times.
Social media too.
Programming.
Social media too.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody getting programmed by social media. You dress like somebody else. You talk like somebody else. You act like somebody else. You don't even know yourself.
Like, you won't see a jersey in the back of my fucking shirt. I'm not gonna have anyone's name on the back of my shirt. That's
Real
not
talk.
happening, man. I just look at people today, and I can easily say we have more evolved people than any time in human history. I'm looking across this room. This stuff didn't exist 20 years ago, man. You didn't have stuff like this, man. But I can also say we have more devolved people than any time in human history, man. Everything's splitting, man. And I think there is going to be a war for the kids' minds that's going to intensify. And I think the war is going to be between basically one side's going to be rainbow, one side's going to be Islam. That's the way I see things going, man. I think those two cannot operate together. And I think that's going to be the big clash in about 20 years.
And we'll just have to see for sure. And that's a good
Islam's going to
prediction.
start
Pushing agendas.
It's going to start in Europe, as you already see what's going on in France. People are rising up because when you have demographics that changing demographics means changing societies. And when society refuses to change, when the demographics are changing, you're going to see violence. And that is exactly what's been going on for a long time. If you're going to change the demographics, you're going to have to meet the needs of the people within that demographics. And if that doesn't happen, violence happens. This is how history has worked over and over. That's why you need gradual change.
It's almost as if they've been preparing us with the movie Purge to just, why don't you?
Would you guys be surprised if something like Purge became legal in 10 years?
Nah, definitely not.
It's
Definitely
already
not.
playing out
But
right now.
yeah, for real. But I want to say this though. Anybody watching this, if you're operating on a frequency that you're scared of things, you live in fear. Don't let what they saying to like, I guess you could say, affect you in a certain way. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I'm gonna be real. None of that shit matters if you not focusing on yourself, because at the end of the day, your internal world makes up your external world. You feel me? So, because you could have $1 billion, but at the end of the day, it's like it's billionaires that are happy and it's billionaires that are fucked up.
Correct.
At the end of the day, though, you're a billionaire, but it's like, what's the point of that money if you're not fucking happy? You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
You just got a whole bunch of money, but you ain't got nobody to spend time with. You ain't got nobody to share that shit with. So that's why I'm big on like love, because at the end of the day, it's like, I remember when I had $20,000. Bro, I was not happy. And I remember when I was sleeping in my car, I was happy as fuck. That showed me I don't need no fucking money. When I got locked up last year, I literally lost everything. I was deep in the streets. I got locked up. I lost every fucking thing that I ever made in the streets. And then I realized when I was down bad on my ass, I was getting taken care of by a girl and everything. That shit really put me on. I was like, yo, the only thing I got is love. So ever since then, that happened, like July last year, now look where the fuck I'm at. I have multiple businesses in my name. I make probably like $6,000, $7,000 a month. I'm only 20 years old. You feel what I'm saying? Real shit, like I'm only 20 years old. Hold
on. You make $6,000, $7,000, you're about 20, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, do you think other people can't do the same thing you're doing?
You can make more than me. You can make $20,000 a month. But at the end of the day, it's not about how much you make. If you making $2,000 a month right now, it'd be grateful that you making $2,000 a month, because there's a motherfucker outside that ain't making shit. Some motherfucker outside, they don't even got legs to walk. They homeless as fuck. They ain't even got no family to call. That's what put me on. Like when I got locked up in jail, it's motherfuckers with way worse problems than me. And I'm like, nigga, I'm over here thinking this shit like, you gotta be grateful for what you got. Like, be grateful. At the end of the day, I can make $10,000 right now today. Yo, I'm grateful that I got up breathing, bro. I'm grateful that I'm handsome. I'm grateful that I'm lit. I'm grateful that I just can get up and do what I want to do. I'm grateful I'm not locked up, and I'm grateful I'm not dead. So that keeps you grounded, because when you on the road to success, you gonna gain a lot of things. You might be in a mansion. You might be, you know what I'm saying, get a whole bunch of money, and then you let that shit go to your head. And then you start treating people like shit. How you treat people is how, how you treat people, spend that real shit. How you treat people is how you feel about yourself. That's how it is. I love myself, so anybody I treat, I'm gonna treat with love. Simple as that.
Now you gotta tell them, like, how did you even get through a point of being getting hit by the Matrix? How the fuck did you still keep a mindset on and being like, all right, bet I still gotta make a way? Like, how did you get through that?
For real, with just like, I realized that you can't rely on external validation for a lot of shit. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, I came out the womb by myself. I'm going to be in the casket by myself. Simple as that. It's like everybody is acting on their own consciousness. People don't actually understand you and see you. They just see themselves in you. So when somebody doesn't fuck with you, when somebody judges you, they're just judging the shit about themselves that they don't fucking like. That's why I don't judge nobody. I accept everybody for who they are, no matter our differences.
At the end of the day, I judge pedophiles.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't fuck with pedophiles, and I don't even want to talk about them. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, I want to see where that limit is. Okay, because I feel what you're saying, but I want to see where that limit is.
Real shit. But I just don't fuck with that at all. But at the same time, though, I'm the type of person. I'm glad that you said that. I actually on some real shit. When it comes to a pedophile, I would actually sit down with a pedophile and ask him, what the fuck about a kid makes you even. Because at the same time, you wouldn't want to do that. You just want to kill that motherfucker. It's just going to be more like him. You feel what I'm saying?
No.
You feel what I'm saying? No. You're right, though. You're right, though. I'm never going to understand it. I'm never going to understand it. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
You're not going to understand that shit. That's number one. Number two, when it comes down to certain things, they just cross such a line. Because
it's just like,
here's the thing, man. The most vulnerable people in society are kids.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
They're the most vulnerable, and they are actually the future. So if you're around pedophiles that run around, put on dresses, call themselves whatever they are, and attack kids, that tells you the state the society is in, that it refuses to protect kids. A lot of times these people who are out there doing things like this actually molest kids, and that's what actually turns their chakras and gets them to be that way as well. So we'll change the subject real quick, but
for sure. We on the same page.
There's only one solution. Right. With all due respect, there's only one solution, and it involves some fucking lead. And we'll just leave it at that, man.